during uncertain times, what do I really need to do well? I think there are three or four things. And they relate to a shorthand that I call strategy, capital, talent. In order to get results, any organization, in order to get results, you need two sets of resources. You need money and you need people, and then you need a plan for putting those to work. Call that a strategy. And that's kind of it at a kind of stick figure level. So strategy, capital, talent. Which of those is most important? By far, unequivocally, it's talent. Every great thinker, every chief executive that's ever built a business, every great nonprofit leader, every great philanthropist has this part figured out. If you don't have the right people in the right jobs, or Jim Collins would say the right people in the right seats on the bus, a lot of the other stuff isn't going to happen. And that doesn't mean you have to have all superstars. It does mean the team needs to be an extraordinary team. By the way, the team includes the board. It includes the executive director. It includes whatever you think it ought to include that are the critical roles in your organization and in and around your organization. So I use this principle that we dub First Who, that is a little bit a Jim Collins takeoff, but it's the right people in the right roles at the right time. And if that is not the case, you're going to have a problem with everything else. The second one is the right amount of money. Now, there's never enough money. And the right amount is usually more than you have. That's true of everybody. Every philanthropist would like to have more money. Every nonprofit leader would like to have more money. Right now, every government agency and department would like to have more money. So let's just start with the premise, there ain't enough. There never will be, so deal with it. The question is, how do you create, if you're a nonprofit, a viable funding model that fits with your strategy? So a viable funding model that fits with your strategy. Bridgespan's actually done a lot of work in this area. And one of the things that we're learning is that too often people chase money. And they get a little money over here and they get a little money over there. And those little bits of money, and sometimes they're big bits, can feel really good. But the scarce resource you're dealing with is your talent, your time. So if the executive director is the chief fundraiser, or the board chair and key other, how do they focus their limited hours on the highest potential sources of funding, not just for this year, which we all tend to get focused on an annual cycle, but over the next 3 to 5 years. So you think about a strategy for your programs, you also need a strategy for your funding. That's number 2. Number 3 is actually your program strategy. So I'm prioritizing talent, then capital, then strategy. Why is that? Because you know what? If you've got the right people in the right job and you've got adequate cash flow, you'll figure out the strategy. You just need to be willing to confront your assumptions and the tough questions. So those are the 3, if you will, timeless truths that transcend any kind of cycles and any sort of macroeconomic stuff. There is a 4th one, and that is this question, am I getting better? Because it's so easy to start promoting yourself, whether you're a nonprofit or a philanthropy, as here's what I'm doing, and it's right. And that's the point of view you're selling, when in reality, there's a lot of trial and error going on. And you learn more from the errors, actually, than the successes, but we clearly learn from both. And so, am I getting better? Is the wraparound to the having the right people in the right job, having the right funding models or funding strategies, having the right programmatic strategy, and then is that bundle getting better? Are the people getting better? Is the funding getting better? Are we learning how to use resources more wisely? Are the programmatic strategies becoming more effective?